I can't watch this yellow. Then drew the third act, so you know she was a slap.
Well, how you came up with that dance?
From prison.
Okay.
From prison. You know, look, I was, at the time.
This election.
Hey, more stamina. You know what? I program time.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where you already know we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Crip Mac, people are talking about him. Trevor Hurd, he's all over the place, right? People see this dude all over. And let me just say for the record, I like this dude. This dude had reached out to me early on in my YouTube career. He's like, yo, bro, I like your content, man. Keep pushing. I was like, damn, for this cat to recognize me, that was all right. So anyway, you know, big YouTube star, rapper, living his best life at times, but always involved in something, right? Everybody see the video, man, he's in there, he's getting it in. He ain't got the best hands in the world, but I think the kid's got the heart of a lion. Probably shouldn't call him a kid, but he's got the heart of a lion, and he's really trying to live that life. The life that he was promoting, he's out there trying to live it like, yo, this is what it is. Some people have said that he's got some, you know, some mental health issues, which might play in his favor right now. But anyway, what people don't know, and we're going to break it down for you, is how much time is he really facing? Some people are like, oh, man, he's only going to get a little bit of time. It ain't that serious. Some people didn't even know that it's the feds. But let me tell you that it is serious. It's very serious. And the reason why it's serious is because he could be facing a mandatory minimum of 15 years, depending on how the government plays this game. And the government's not in the game of being friendly, so to speak, right? They're not friendly. They're not out looking out because he's Crip Mac, big YouTube star, all over the place. They're not looking out. They just don't do that. But we're going to break it down for you. Crip Mac, what people don't know, is in October 2023, the government had already got a sealed indictment on him. This is the feds. He got arrested in September in the state, gets out. People are talking about him like, damn, Crip Mac's back in jail. And then he gets out. But what he don't know is that the government is behind the scenes putting a case together based on the same facts that are going on in the state. So Crip Mac's arrested, goes to court in the state, gets arrested. They take him over to the federal building, and now the shit gets real. What do they charge him with? Let's break down the indictment so you know how serious it is. On or about September 3rd, 2023, in Los Angeles County within the Central District of California, defendant Trevor Hurd, also known as C-Mac, knowingly possessed ammunition. Ammunition? That's not that serious. Come on, Chad. Ammunition? It's not for real. Namely, 10 rounds of normal precision AB, 9mm Luger caliber ammunition contained inside a semi-automatic handgun, bearing serial number, they break it down, commonly referred to as a ghost gun, each in and affecting interstate commerce. Let me tell you something. I was in the feds with one of my homeboys. 222 shells. They ACCA him, Armed Career Criminal Act. And they give him 18 years for 222 bullets, all right? And for those of you that don't know, I had a 22 rifle. I got 5 years for a 12-gauge shotgun, 25 years for a 22 rifle. What the 25 years for a 22 rifle? That's because the feds don't play no games. Defendant Hurd possessed such ammunition knowing that he had previously been convicted of at least one of the following felony crimes. And then the government outlines all of his priors. Let's look at his priors. Felon in possession of a firearm in violation of California law, right? July 27, 2022. And this is what the government's letting him know and letting his lawyer know. We're going to ACCA you. You're a career offender. We can pretty much do whatever we want. Felon in possession of a firearm, California Penal Code, October 12, 2021. Attempted second-degree robbery, November 8, 2017. Grand theft, August 12, 2015. Transportation and sale, they put the word sale, of a controlled substance in violation of California Health Code, October 20th, 2014. He might be able to get around that incoherent offense. That California statute might not be good, but there's a whole bunch of priors here. And what happens is this. Under 922G, for those of you that aren't up to date, it used to be 0 to 10 years. That meant you could get anywhere in between 0 to 10 years. You don't really got, much of a record, 37 months. If the court really wants to bang you, they can give you 10. But they changed that. The First Step Act changed that and said, you know what? We don't think that that's enough time. People like Ted Cruz and, the guy down there in Arkansas, Cotton, they said, no, we don't think 10 is good. If you're a felon in possession of a firearm, we think you should probably get up to 15. So we're going to change that. So now he's facing 0 to 15 for the ammunition, right? 922G violation. Facing 15. Then why'd you say the mandatory minimum's 15? Because if they ACCA him If they Armed Career Criminal Act him, his mandatory minimum now goes from 0 to 15. That means he has to get 15. Let me give you a quick story on Teddy Vasquez. Alleged former gang member out of Chicago. You can only imagine what gang. One of my clients right now, we're working on a big case for him. He ends up leaving Chicago, turns his life around. He's living in Florida, meets this nice, young lady. Her father's a former sheriff, big shot sheriff. And one day he says, come on, son-in-law, let me take you down to the shooting range. They go down to the shooting range. Down there taking pictures. Boom, he's down there firing, doing his thing. And what happens is they end up charging him with felon in possession of a firearm. He's serving a 15-year sentence right now. And the judge says, look, you turned your life around. I really don't want to do this, but I have no choice. The mandatory minimum is 15. And how does the government play? Like I said, the government's not in the business of doing favors. They don't care who Crip Mac is. They don't care how much money you got. They don't care about any of that. They just moved to detain him. They said Crip Mac is a danger if you let him out to the street. He's a flight risk. They put all this stuff together. Now, will he eventually get out here? It's possible. He's going to have a detention hearing. And the judge, the magistrate judge might say, you know what? I'm going to release him on bail. I'm going to let Crip Mac out based on, X, Y, and Z. I'm going to put him on, post-supervised release. Probation can watch on. They do that stuff in the feds. But is it going to happen? He's got a hell of a record. That may not happen. But there are some things that might play in his favor, right? Like what? Some people have mentioned, he's got some mental health issues, people have said, right? He says some off-the-wall shit sometimes. Sometimes he does some off-the-wall stuff. But like I said, he tries to live that life that, he promotes. The kid's got the heart of a lion. He ain't got the best. Hey, Crip, if you see this, bro, don't get mad at me. But you ain't got the best hand game, my boy. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you definitely ain't no sucker. You're definitely with that business if you have to be, right? And I want things to work out for you. But, they might play that role. Hey, look, mental health. And he may very well have an argument. But what's his life going to be like if he does get convicted? Or will he get convicted? So some of you might not realize this, but there's some big cases floating around right now, right? The argument is heading to the Supreme Court, waiting on a decision from them eventually. But are you able to possess a firearm if you're a felon? Is 922G unconstitutional? I just did a big case on it. Maybe I'll post a piece of it up. Where, under Heller and Bruin and Bullock, the argument, without giving you all the legal stuff, is that felons are able to possess a firearm. That our forefathers, when they implemented the Constitution and gave you the right to the Second Amendment, they didn't say that you could lose it if you commit a crime. And I mean, it's a big, big argument. There's a lot of, back history, all the way back to the Prohibition days. But people are winning in places like Texas and Mississippi, where they got these, these big gun rights, right? These big gun right advocates and everything. And I am a person that supports the Second Amendment. And I hope that I am able to get those rights back because you definitely need them in this dangerous world. So, Crip might be able to make an argument, or he should make an argument to dismiss the indictment right off. And he's got the public defender's office representing him right now. And make no mistakes, some public defenders are very good lawyers. A lot of them are better than the paid lawyers. And, his net worth says he's worth $1 million. So he probably has a couple dollars for an attorney, but really, should he waste it? He'd probably get good representation by the public defender's office. They got all the up-to-date stuff. I mean, it's probably his best bet to stay with the public defender. Oh, man, them public pretenders ain't. Man, don't pay attention to that shit. I think he'll be all right with the public defender. They'll probably be filing a motion to dismiss pretty soon, but will he be successful? In California, probably not. You'll end up having to wait for the Supreme Court to come back on that issue. What's his life going to be like? Got a hell of a record. He definitely ain't going to no FCI. I can guarantee that. Where will he end up? He'll probably end up in Victorville. U.S.P. Victorville, Atwater. He's from California. Might head down to Texas. Do I think Crip Mac's going to prison? Unfortunately, I think he is probably heading to prison. Unfortunately. But how long will he serve? What will his life be like? I mean, the Crips are going to embrace this cat as soon as he gets there, right? But he's got to act accordingly. He can't be doing wild shit. Can't be beefing with his own people. Because you've seen the videos, right? You've seen some of the vicious stuff that happens in these penitentiaries. He can't get involved in that nonsense in there. Because you get involved in that nonsense in there, things could go all the way bad. But anyway, Crip Mac, that's the breakdown for everybody. That's what he's looking at. What will happen with Crip Mac? My guess is, I hope that they don't ACCA him. They haven't charged him as an ACCA under 924 yet. But if they do, he's definitely facing a mandatory minimum of 15 years. The other part of it is they could say, hey, man, come down here, take a plea. We're agreeing to 7 years. he can agree to 7 years. If it's not an 11C1C plea agreement, which means a locked-in plea, then he's hit. You go down there thinking you're getting 7 years, you go get sentenced. The judge's like, oh, the PSR came back, probation said you're an ACCA, or probation said you're a career offender, so now I have no choice but to give you 292 to 365 months, or the maximum 15 if they don't career him. So you could be 292 to 365 months on the guidelines, but your maximum sentence is 15. So he could end up with 15 years. Do I think he's in trouble? I do. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. With respect, until tomorrow, we're out.